John Kent is both a talented and creative fly tyer, especially when it comes to chironomid patterns. His Dragon Lake Special has become one of my favorites. It has proven itself as one of the most successful spring chironomid patterns for my annual hosted trips to the Parklands region of southwest Manitoba. Make sure you add a selection of Dragon Lake Specials to your chironomid collection. These are the materials you will need. So let's tie my buddy John Kent's Dragon Lake Special. Man, this fly has been a proven winner on the annual trips I do each spring out to Manitoba when the fish are fixated on emerging chironomid pupa. Into the jaws of my vise, I've got an Alec Jackson crystal hook. It's one of his covered nymph hooks. These are silver shanked hooks. This is a size 11, which is about a size 12. He's got a little different sizing system with these hooks. So I put a silver brass or tungsten bead. I believe John likes to use tungsten a lot. He likes to fish these under indicators. So I've slid, this is a 7/64 for this number 11. So I'm going to slide this back out of the way. I'm going to attach my tying thread, which is the UTC wood duck. The thread color is critically important on this fly. And John likes to use some of the uni-stretch yarn, or floss rather, in white. So we're just going to tie this in place on top of the shank, a couple of wraps underneath to stand this up, get that secured in, trim off the excess, cover that up. You want to build up too much bulk, you'll have difficulty sliding the bead over. Disengage and slide that bead forward. Now John uses a neat trick to build up the body of his chironomid so they're more proportional by using the same white uni-stretch floss on a bobbin. So we're just going to apply this directly behind the bead, just like tying thread. I'm going to secure this down, go about a third or so, 2/3 of the way down, and come back up. You can give the bobbin a bit of a spin in a counterclockwise direction so the wraps are nice and flat. And just build that up right behind the bead. You can whip finish or half hitch. And what you've done is built up a little bit of an underbody without an excess use of tying thread. And then we're going to take our wood duck colored UTC 70 and just start that thread down the shank. And this step is optional, but John, a lot of times on the flies he's shown me, actually leaves a little bit of white yarn, white floss protruding out the back of the fly to suggest the caudal gills that are present on some species, particularly the larger species of chironomids. These seem to be more prevalent. So we're just going to build that up and then come in even with the bend of the hook. Now this is stretchy, so just gather it and hold it, but don't pull on it super tight. We'll end up with a little shorter tuft than you thought. And we trim those out of the way. And then we're going to go back up a little bit. And for the ribbing, John likes to use UTC wire in extra small. It's a subtle silver rib, so it's extra small. Normally on this size of the fly you might lean towards the small size, but the extra small is just a subtle little rib. So I'm just going to hold that up. Come forward again. And again, this is all about managing your body proportions here. So I'm just going to come down. I've put a counterclockwise spin in the thread and securing that ribbing down the shank. And we'll do the same, and now we're just going to come all the way back up, taking some of that twist out so we get nice flat wraps. Just trying to build this back portion up because we built the front up a little bit, so I want it to be proportional, so I'm going to go back a little bit. forward, spin that bobbin, take your time, nice smooth body, adjacent wraps. And now we'll wind our wire forward. You can see the wire is very subtle, just gives a little glimmer. Nice even spacing all the way up to the thorax area. Carry that up, back, twist, tension, and break away the excess. Now we're going to whip finish, because the thorax is a little bit of a different contrasting color. So we're just going to come up, 3 or 4 turn whip finish, trim the excess, and the thorax is comprised of rusty brown UTC 70. So now we're just going to wind on the rusty brown thread. There's not much to this. We don't want to go back too far, no further back than the length of the bead. It's a subtle color change at best, but man, it's effective. So we're just going to build that up, right up tight behind the bead. Doesn't take long. Again, spinning that bobbin counterclockwise will flatten the thread wraps for you. You want to build that thread ramp up on a gentle taper. If you're too aggressive and go too fast, it becomes too steep, and when you go to whip finish, those thread wraps will all tumble back down. You won't have that nice smooth brown thorax, that rusty brown thorax. So now we're just going to come in and trim our gills about the length of the bead, and then we just got to give this a final body coating. So I'm just going to moisten these gills at the back just to keep them all together, and we're going to put a few coats of our Loon UV clear fly finish in the flow formulation. So you cover the entire fly with this, and that's going to really, it's better to put on a few thin coats and build it up nicely than one big thick lumpy coat that's just going to be problematic and run all over the place potentially. So we're just going to rotate that around and cure it. A few seconds will light this right up. And we'll probably put on another coat. So I'm going to apply another light coat. I'm going to fill in some of the blanks. Really lights up that thread too. Just clean away any of the excess. You can rotate the vise to help you with that too, to help distribute it around. It's looking pretty good. And again, we'll cure it. You could also do this originally before these great UV products like the Flow here. You could use Sally Hansen's hardest nails as well, but the stuff really works well. Really impressed with it. Good thin coating, better to build up thin coats, and it dries tack free. So there you go, the finished Dragon Lake Special. Hopefully I've done you proud, John. You'll probably think it's too skinny. It's kind of a running joke we have between us. But there you go, the Dragon Lake Special. If you ever come to Manitoba, join me on any of my trips, you want to make sure you have a fair number of these in your fly box, because this fly is just lethal out there. The big browns and rainbows and tigers that inhabit the lakes out there simply can't leave this fly alone. For more information on fly fishing, and stillwater fly fishing in particular, please visit my website at flycraftangling.com. Here you will find fishing tips, fly patterns, articles,
information regarding my seminars and schools, along with links to my blog and mine and Brian Chan's online Stillwater fly fishing shop. You can also visit our store directly at stillwaterflyfishingstore.com. In addition, you can also follow me through my social media channels, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and please take the time to watch my other tying videos as well.